Hello traders, Gary Wagner here, just about 11:30 in Honolulu, 5:30 in New York. It is Friday. Happy Aloha Friday, as we say on the islands, October the 5th, 2018, and this is the daily report for gold and silver, our weekend review. And what an interesting week we have seen in the precious metals markets, with gold not only closing higher on the day, but more impressive, closing above $1,200 per ounce for the last couple of days. Gold, $1,206.70, putting it up about $5.10. That is a net gain of about 0.4%. Silver, in terms of performance, definitely outdid gold, up 0.6% or 9 cents, closing at $16.48. About the only metal really not to show any kind of uptick, or strong uptick, I should say, was platinum today. Platinum actually closed up about 80 cents at $825.30, but the solid winner for the last couple of weeks and definitively this week was palladium, which gained a whopping $18 on the day as it goes closer to parity with gold, $1,063.50. We will look at palladium in detail as we pull up our technical studies today. Now, this with a modestly lower dollar, down just over 0.1%, but above 95 at 95.30, and equities continue to sell off after reaching an all-time new record high price on Wednesday. The last 2 days have been triple-digit drawdowns, 200 points yesterday, 180 points today, 26,447 points is the current print on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. S&P lost about 0.5% at 2885, and the composite lost well over 1%, 1.16%, 91 points at 7788. Traders, a very interesting week in terms of gold pricing. If you recall, gold came in under $1,200 at the beginning of the week. Let me put our 1,200 arrow in. This being Monday's trading activity. We had a major pop on Tuesday in which we saw gold move from about $11.95 up to a high of $12.13 before settling right around $12.05, $12.06. Then we had the following day, Wednesday as well as Thursday, have lows that came to $1,200 but did not break below it. And then, of course, today's range puts us square above $1,200 now for the fourth day in a row. What is also interesting is when we look at our 50-day moving average. Our 50-day moving average and closing price today are pretty much identical. So it's going to be very interesting to see if that becomes a point of resistance or kind of a jump-off point in which we start to see gold prices track higher. There's no doubt we have been in this narrow and defined range for quite some time, with 1190 on the bottom and about 1220 on the top. We have not broken below or above either of those. However, the fact that we are back above $1,200 per ounce is moderately bullish. Another factor that bodes well for the bulls when we look at our daily chart is by looking at the most recent lows. Of course, the low just prior to this low here was a lower low, and in fact the lowest trading point of the year at 1164. So the fact that we now have a higher low allows us to draw an upward trend line based upon these lows here and here. At the same time, there needs to be one rather large caveat when looking at recent price data that has occurred over the last couple of months. Yes, we can draw a trend line from these two lows here, but we need to note the fact that we still have this flat top and we have major resistance in gold at the 0.618% retracement, which comes in at approximately 1218 to 1220. So, although we're only about $12 from that price point, I really need to see a break above 1218 on a closing basis before I can get extremely bullish on the precious yellow metal. Traders, there is, however, no caveat needed for palladium. Palladium has literally been a runaway freight train. If you look at mid-August pricing, when palladium was down around $820 per ounce, and take a look at current pricing, which is well above 1,000 at 1,063. After reaching this high above 1,080 last week, we can see that there is some supply issues and strong demand for the precious white metal, which has really fueled a price increase of about 30% in the last 6 weeks. Now, historically speaking, there has been another point in time in which gold and palladium prices have come in parity. And in fact, during that time period, palladium prices actually overtook gold. And that was a period of time between 1999 and 2001. We can see that that was the highest price that palladium had ever traded to till last week, when we actually took out that price on an intraday basis. And this week's close is just shy of that all-time record high price in palladium. And to look at palladium during 1999 to 2001 and compare it to gold prices, all we need to do is to simply put up these charts side by side and look at performance. We had a tremendous upside spike in palladium that was followed by a dramatic fall in price back starting at around the beginning of 2001. And during that period of time, gold remained relatively flat, trading at about $400 per ounce. Now, we're certainly not witnessing the same kind of price action now. Recently, the markets have moved roughly in tandem. We take a look at the beginning of 2017 in palladium and this upward price movement. At the same time, when we look at gold, we had a similar move to the upside, although we had some defined dips in gold that we did not get in palladium. But look at what's going on recently. We have had relatively a flat price in gold as it hovers around 1,200, and at the same time we have seen palladium shoot up roughly 30%. It is for that reason that next week we will be getting into a palladium trade. Some of our subscribers will want to put on a spread, and we'll talk about that in detail, where we are short gold and long palladium. Some of our more aggressive traders might simply want to go long palladium with gold. We'll talk about that in detail beginning next week. This has been Gary Wagner, wishing you as always good trading. We'll talk to you on Monday for the next daily update and review. Bye-bye.